All right, so today's topic is underlying principle of distributed and parallel computing, right? So we are going to see about the cloud computing, and we are going to understand the concept of distributed and parallel computing. So before starting with this, we are going to also understand the starting concept, that is of centralized computing, right? We cannot ignore this particular topic. So starting up with the centralized computing, when we say centralized computing, so first of all, let's understand what is computing. We all know computing is the computation part, the processing of computation or any calculation or processing of data. So these terms can be defined with the computing terminology. So whenever we are going to say centralized computing somewhere is related to center, right? That is why we are calling it as centralized. So the computing paradigm by which all computer resources are centralized with one physical system. That means there is one physical system that is going to include all the processing. Only that particular computer, that is maybe the server, is going to do all the computation, and that is forming at the central position. So that is what the centralized computing here is. All resources, when I term all resources, I mean to say the processor, the memory, the storage, right? All these resources are being fully shared and tightly coupled with one integrated operating system. This is very important. That means we are going to say that there is one integrated operating system with shared processor, memory, storage, and other different types of resources. These are tightly coupled. So when we define a centralized computing, we define it as, let's say this is the server and these are the clients, and all the computation here is taking place at the server point. And these particular clients are what? These are highly connected and highly coupled with this particular system. So if, let's say, this particular node falls down, or this particular node gets down, there is failure in this particular node, the complete system will be down. That is the main downfall or the main disadvantage of this particular centralized computing, right? Many data centers and supercomputers are centralized systems, but they are used in parallel, distributed, and cloud computing applications. So these particular supercomputers, data centers which are centralized systems, they will be using in parallel, distributed, or cloud computing applications. Because if we only talk about the centralized computation, then there is a major downfall that it has a single point failure. I call it as single point failure. So single point failure means if there is a failure at this particular node where all the processing is being done, then the complete network will be down and it will create a havoc, right? So this is what the centralized computing is. If we define certain examples of centralized computing, then we can say NFS. NFS is what? Network file system. You all are aware of this, right? You can have web server application. Web server application, it is again the example of centralized computing. Now moving towards the next type of computing, that is called as the parallel computing. Now, when I say parallel computing, as the name suggests, before this parallel computing, there was a computing that was called as the sequential computing, serial computing, right? When I say serial computing, this is what that means: in sequence, one after the other. That means if I have a particular task and that particular task can be, executed with the help of one processor only. So there is only one processor, and this particular task is divided into 4 subtasks, 1, 2, 3, 4. They will go in serial order, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, one after the other. So let's say whatever time it will take, you can just understand if this particular is taking 2 minutes, it is taking 3 minutes, it is taking 5 minutes. So it will take a long time to complete the execution of all this particular task. So what happens was new computing was invented where we called that parallel computing. So with the help of parallel computing, the disadvantage of serial computing, that was it was taking longer time, the speed was very slow. So here this computing was introduced. And what this particular computing defines, as the name suggests, parallel. Parallel means simultaneously, concurrently. So whenever we have a particular task, that particular task can be subdivided into multiple subtasks and then executed simultaneously to increase the speed and efficiency. Let's say we have 2 processors now, right? So we can, execute this particular task by dividing it into subtasks, multiple subtasks, and then executing it parallelly. So obviously it will take lesser time and the speed will increase for the execution, and efficiency will also be enhanced. The complete performance will be better, right? So here the problem is broken down into multiple parts. Each part is then broken down into number of instructions. These parts are allocated to different processors. This I have already explained, which execute them simultaneously. This increases the speed of execution of the programs as a whole. And whatever the, programs that are running, that particular programs are called as parallel programs. Now, moving on to the third part, that is the distributed computing. So what is this distributed computing about? Distributed computing is another type of computing where it is somewhat using the same principle which was used by parallel, but has a different concept. The concept here is, it is different from parallel. So we have written distributed computing is different than parallel computing, even though the principle is the same. Now here the principle is same. Why the principle is same? Because we want to increase the efficiency and the speed of the execution of a particular instructions, right? So here what we are doing, distributed computing is a field that studies distributed systems. Distributed systems are systems that have multiple computers located in different locations. There we were only talking about the processor in the parallel computing. There can be a possibility that we are using multiple processors in single device, but here we are talking about multiple computers which are located at different locations, right? So this is the basic difference between these two computing. These computers in a distributed system work on the same program. The program is divided into different tasks and allocated to different computers. So this is how what we are doing. Again, we are using the same concept of parallel computing. That is the same program. The one program is being divided into subtasks and that is being allocated to different computers. The computers communicate here. How they are going to communicate with each other with the help of passing of messages on the network. And lastly, the result is collated and presented to the user. So this is how distributed computing is going to work. The process of writing distributed programs is called as distributed programming, right? Distributed computing system uses multiple computers to solve large-scale problems over the internet using a centralized computer to solve computational problems. Now, we are just going to see the difference between the distributed and the centralized system. First of all, we have already seen what is centralized and what is distributed. So when we say centralized system, these particular systems allow better usage as all data and applications are standardized throughout, right? But here no standardization is possible because there are multiple computers at different locations. So standardization is not there in the distributed systems. Organization better controlled and managed, better security as all data and processing tasks are performed and kept at the central location. So what we have here, the data and management security can be controlled in a proper way in a better way as compared to distributed, because we are keeping all the data and the tasks at the central location. But here the data is being divided into the multiple, because we are saying as all the data are distributed, data security is a issue over the distributed system. So we have to take care regarding the security on an addition. No data or application redundancy, as the whole system is managed by the main computer at central location. So this is obvious, because we are having all the data at the central location that is being managed. So there is no data redundancy. But there is data redundancy in the distributed system, because we have data at the multiple locations. So this synchronization is not taking place in the distributed. Dependence: if the main system fails, everything stops. I already told you that the main disadvantage of centralized system is what? It is one point failure, single point failure. But no single point failure is there in the distributed system, because let's say if one node is down, then the complete network does not goes down. So independence is there. That means no harm to other unit if one unit fails. When I say unit, I mean to say the node, right? So this is the basic differences between the centralized and the distributed system. Now, the difference between the distributed and parallel computing. Let's see what is the difference. Firstly, we have already seen the definition. So first we have defined the definition of distributed and parallel. In distributed, a number of unified computers work towards a common task while communicating with each other with the help of message passing. Next one is parallel computing. In parallel computing, a task is divided into multiple subtasks, which are then allocated or allotted to different processors on the same computer system. That means here we are going to talk that different processors are included at one stop point, that is the one system. But here we have a network and the multiple computers are having over the network and they are communicating through the passing of messages. Second point, on the parameter of number of computer systems involved. We can include multiple computer systems in distributed, but in parallel computing, we have single physical computer. We can have multiple processors which can be hosted. Next parameter is dependency between processes. So here we define there might not be much dependency between the processes, but here there is more dependency between the processes because the output of one can be the input of another. Next comes the scalability. Now, I just want to define scalability. Scalability is adding of more resources according to the usage if there is more demand, or making it lesser according to the less demand. So here what we can do, we can easily scale in the distributed system because we can add on more resources, more nodes to it. With the help of additional nodes, we can add memory, we can add more processors. But scalability in the parallel computing is not that easy, but it is limited. Next one is resource sharing. So here we are not sharing the resources in the distributed much because computers have their own memory and processors. And here all the processors are going to share the same memory in parallel computing. Now comes synchronization. Obviously, synchronization is not possible in the distributed. So we need to run synchronization algorithms for the clock. That is a more detailed form. I'm not going into it because that is not helpful for you. So the computers in the network have to implement synchronization algorithms, while there is a master clock for synchronization in all the processors when it comes to parallel computing. Now, lastly is the usage. Generally preferred in places requiring high scalability. When we talk about parallel computing, it is generally preferred in places requiring faster speed and better performance. So whenever we need high scalability with preferred better performance, we move to the distributed computing. And when we need faster speed, better performance, and we do not need much of scalability, then we are going to work on or take up the parallel computing process. So that was it for the both computing processes, right?